What is an international armed conflict in IHL? Imagine a situation where two countries are fighting each other on the battlefield. That's what we call an international armed conflict in international humanitarian law. It's a term used to describe when hostilities happen between two or more states. This includes not just declared wars but any fighting that occurs, whether or not the countries officially say they are at war. Even if one country occupies part of another's territory without fighting, it can still be considered an international armed conflict. Sometimes, conflicts happen when people in a colony or territory fight against colonial rulers or foreign powers. These are also seen as international armed conflicts if the parties agree to follow the Geneva Conventions. The Geneva Conventions are international treaties that set rules for how wars are fought and how civilians and prisoners are treated. The key point is that whether a conflict is classified as international depends on what is actually happening on the ground, not whether the countries declare war or recognize each other as enemies. In international humanitarian law, or IHL, the focus is on the facts of the conflict. If fighting occurs between states, then the rules of IHL apply fully. These rules protect civilians, wounded soldiers, and prisoners of war. They also limit the weapons and tactics used in war to reduce suffering and destruction. For example, occupying powers must respect the rights and dignity of civilians living in occupied areas, even if there is no active fighting. Knowing if a conflict is international is very important because it determines which set of rules apply. Full protections under the Geneva Conventions and their additional protocols come into effect only during international armed conflicts. These rules cover how combatants and civilians should be treated, how hostilities should be conducted, and what obligations occupying forces have. When a situation is recognized as an international armed conflict, it triggers these legal protections. This helps ensure that even during war, there are limits and responsibilities that aim to protect those who are not fighting. The classification helps balance military needs with humanitarian concerns, making sure civilians and non-combatants are safeguarded during conflicts between states.